of Jesus. Amen. I wanted to have a moment of silence for Jesse Powell, R&B singer-songwriter, formerly MCA artist, who had passed away yesterday. If y'all listen to this on Thursday, it was the 14th, and I believe he was found by his sister, and apparently it was cardiac arrest. And I also wanted to have a moment of silence for P&B Rock, artist from Philly, I believe, who was robbed and gunned down in LA. And, there's a lot going on in America and the world. But it's crazy, like, if you're listening to this, of course, you aware, I'm pretty sure you on social media, you watch the news, you follow certain stories, and see all the narratives. One thing that y'all may have noticed about me, if you've been listening all this time, which I do want to thank, is I'm not one to pass judgment or misjudge anyone, or at least try to. I'm not going to say that I don't, or I try not to, but everyone who knows that I'm a God guy, and I'm about forgiveness. I'm about grace. But there's certain things that will disturb that grace and can't make excuses for. Understand it, but can't make excuses for. Because when hear stories about, rappers getting killed and murdered, gunned down, robbed, we become so desensitized to it. It's almost like, well, just another day in the streets, another day in the hood, another day in music. But of course, there are other artists, whether you're actor, singer, director, who we love and support and aware of, and when we hear about their deaths, it's something where they're found. They're found by someone. I remember, and I don't remember what year it was when Eddie Guerrero died. Forgot the year. I just remember he was found dead by his nephew Chavo Guerrero. If you're a wrestling fan, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Then you have those like Robin Williams, Whitney Houston, and others. It's just so many to name who were found. Of course, COVID's still out here alive and well. But like I said again, people die every day. And I think sometimes when we hear about celebrities or people with notoriety, it's a different type of feeling. But no, now we're rappers. Even when Kobe died, that was a tragic accident, which I still believe, it should never have happened. We know God makes mistakes, but people do. But thinking about this whole thing with PNB Rock gets me like kind of like it just kind of angers me because not that I wasn't I'm not even gonna say that I was a fan of PNB Rock. I was familiar with him. I liked some of his music. I know that he had a good amount of fans. He had a fan base. But the same thing like with Nipsey, like these acts that happens with rappers, like it's almost like people haven't learned yet. Like people do not care. You can be a well respected artist, a well known artist, people can love you, but in these streets, like you're just another lick, and just another casualty, unfortunately. And like just listening and watching how these people like feel like they know everything, like they blaming the girlfriend for posting their location while they're there, trying to say it was her fault, and they all these conspiracy theories about Empire's artists all being murdered. They all have these star rings, and I'm thinking like, okay, let's just say that this is true. Because once again, outside looking in, we can only make assumptions. We're not mind readers. We're not dumb. But maybe sometimes we are dumb and ignorant to the fact. We just want something to talk about. Let's just say these views are true. Let's say that P&B Rock's girlfriend put the location up, giving these suspects and these scumbags and these smut niggas, haters, whatever, give them a location because mind you, he was on Academics recently. They're talking about how somebody tried to get him before. Now, this was recently. So mind you, if you're eating with your family and somebody comes up to you and try to rob you, somebody like just shoots and stuff, you're going to blame the person who put that information out there that where you was at. What about the prior times? You have so many people who's on Gram, on social media, putting their locations like, hey, I'm here at the bank, I'm over here at the beach, I'm over here at the house party, I'm over here. Now, mind you, you don't know exactly where and when that was. A lot of people talk about, by the time I posted, I'm already gone. So, in other words, are you promoting that location? If it's like a place where you enjoyed yourself and you're trying to promote and say, hey, I was here, I was having a good time, or was you just posting it because you're trying to flex? But hey, look where I'm at. Because to me, I feel like it doesn't matter when you post it. What matters is the fact that someone had the nerve and the audacity and the stupidity and the carelessness and recklessness to go to that spot to shoot, rob this man. And I'm not 100% sure if his kids was with him or not. I just know, like regardless, like to me, I just had it. And those listening, like, I want you to understand, like, we can have these narratives, we can have these, think pieces, we can have this understanding and have so much information that it really doesn't do anyone any good because nothing is going to change. You really feel like having these marches, banning, putting all these laws out that things are not going to happen. People are still going to do these things because, like you said, like again, when he was talking to Academics, he was talking about how it's crazy in LA. Like somebody tried to get him in, but it's like so many people smiling in your face, but they sitting here, really trying to get you. The way they just trying to make you comfortable enough to where they can rob you or kill you or whatever. It's wild out here. It's kind of sad that just to me, I can be wrong, but just the things that I see, this happens in our communities, the black communities, and you know, even when we are getting shot down and killed by law enforcement, it's still a problem for me to think it's about race all the time. I don't think it's always about race. Some people are just evil, man. Like, and it's hard for me to say that, but it's just like at some point, you gotta take accountability for your own mess. I know sometimes, more times than few, we get stuck on hard times. Sometimes we're not financially in a position to where a 9 to 5 is going to do. So when we see someone who might be able to change our life, with whether it's the car, jewelry, shoes, whatever it is, we then decide we want to take from them because we feel like that they can afford it. That's why sometimes it's not good to fake it until you make it, because we do not know if this person is actually holding something themselves, nor do we know if what they have is authentic. But even if it is, it doesn't matter. Like you grown, and I know again, hurt people, and sometimes people aren't always there. But when you can take from someone, even in that capacity, it's just sickening to me. And even if you're shooting not to kill, you got to think about the possibilities. So the fact that you pulled the trigger and killed this man, it's wild. I remember when I heard about Nipsey, and I tell this story all the time. It was almost like, man, it was just one random day. And I think it was on the first. I thought it was April Fool's joke or whatever, but when I heard it was April 1st, and it was just like, again, like I said, I wasn't a big Nipsey fan. Like I said, same thing with PNB Rock. I loved his music, some of his songs and stuff. I mean, I know, he was, with Lauren London, and they had children, and he was doing his thing in the community. He was, doing a lot for his community, and then it was just like I just had a random thought. I was just like, I don't remember. I don't know this guy. I'm like, man, I wonder what Nipsey Hussle's doing. Then, not it was kind of wild where maybe moments after that, I was on Twitter and they'll sing "Rest in Peace, Nipsey Hussle," and I'm like, and I felt like a piece of me left. And mind you, this was even like before I knew all that he was doing. I mean, I knew about the store, I knew about, like I said, the music and the brand, but it was like, why did I just randomly think about this artist who I don't have no personal connection to, and then I felt empty after that. And I was like, if this is how people felt when Tupac died, then it's like that was that feeling. And I'm still kind of like, can't believe Kobe's dead like that. But that's totally something different. But it's just the fact that there are so many artists, rappers that get killed for nothing. For nothing. Say what you want about posting. Say what you want about record labels and their insurance and everything. And again, I don't know. Everything's hearsay. Like I wanna hear from people who are actually in the industry and knows who was actually going on instead of speculate. Somebody had just had some information one day and said, Mo3 is here, XX Tentacion is here, uh, freaking Juice WRLD here, like people have so much time on their hand that they do their due diligence and research things. However, at the same time, all it takes is one potential intelligent explanation and people run with it. But just remember, religious people killed Jesus. Just like everybody, like everything's just a plan to you. Everybody feels like there has to be a logical explanation for so many artists on the same label are getting killed by their own. No, not to me. To me, people are just scumbags, you know? That's just simple as it is. And it just goes to show you that you gotta read the room sometimes and pay attention. Like you can see certain things. Like energy is real, like words are real. Like even like with like PNB Rock with the whole like there was a guy he was talking to on Instagram, people want to connect the dots with that. And even so it's like you're a detective. Like it's okay for you to make all these speculations, but there's other there's just nobody wants to take accountability for those who do the crime. It's like if I sit here and say I'm at Chuck E. Cheese with my son, I can be I can be on the phone with one of my friends and then I say I'm at Chuck E. Cheese with my son, or I can be on Instagram live and say I'm at Chuck E. Cheese with my son, and then somebody comes to Chuck E. Cheese or somebody that's already there decides that they want to get at me. I'm not going to sit here and blame my friend. It's my friend sent someone over here, or I was online. I was like, no, it's not always about that. Like I said, it's not always that. It could be the case, but it's just certain things where it's like it can be anything because not everybody posts where they're at. Not everybody even on social media like that, and they still get killed. I can understand like when if you're a target, you do want to move smarter and be mindful about who you're with and what you're around. Um, and like I said, I'm sure there's more to it. Like I said, this is just me outside looking in and just expressing how how crazy and how ill it is to blame someone close to this person. Like I said, it was his girlfriend or baby mom who posted it, and people want to blame her. Why? What about what happened the last like the week before? I think I don't know if it was the week before, the month before, but before then. He didn't get robbed then, but it was just the fact that what about then? Somebody might have already been there in the area. They probably not even seen the post. And then they want to sit here and talk because the detective had talked to what the reporter was talking about. Yeah, it was because of that. And oh, now y'all want to listen. But if it was something else where it was a white police officer killing a black person, and the reporter probably would have said it was not about race, or that then it want to be an issue. See, people pick and choose when they want to run with something, and it's just dumb. RPP and B Rock, man. You know, I think a lot of times people forget. People forget that free will don't mean you can do what you want without any consequences. People forget that just because God forgives and forgets doesn't mean that you're not going to deal with karma. I think people forget. People forget a lot of things. They don't forget money though. They don't forget when people owe you money. But yeah, that's just I remember this time when I was younger. Cause man, I've never been a controversial person. I've never been someone who likes conflict. I was used to be one of those guys who used to stand around and watch people fight. I mean, I'm not gonna say recorded, but I used to be one of those people that would stand around and watch people fight. I'm entertained by, you know, fights. I'll be watching those reality shows. It's entertaining sometimes, toxicity and drama and stuff is entertaining. But then it's also one of those things that we have to kind of grow out of. Me growing up in church, it become rebellion. Like anything your parents try to shield you from, you're gonna do and try to learn for yourself. But like I said, my whole life, unknowingly, I've been in the hood. I've been out here in these streets, but it wasn't how one would think. I wasn't out here slanging, robbing, none of that stuff. I was on a corner outside of the corner store asking for quarters, $1, just so I can get some chips. I was out here playing basketball, playing cards, playing video games, betting. Hey, I bet you this for this. That was my hustle. I know people who was out there doing that street shit. Even being in, like, even still being in, the church and stuff. So it's like, don't think that because one is godly, or not even say godly, but really churchy, if you can, well, if that's a word. I really hate that word, but one who is in the church isn't in the streets too. Y'all remember Original Gangsters? You had the minister, making deals with the criminals and the gangsters and stuff. But it's like that stuff like that happens in real life. But my point is, like, never judge a book by its cover. Never just think because someone lives a certain lifestyle that they pussy. Like my whole thing was also when I was younger. Like I said, I got in fights. I've been bullied, and that's why I might have an issue with bullies. I've been punked. I've been robbed. I got guns put out on me. I've been in like real fights. I might have won more than I've lost some, but I have lost some. I've been ambushed, but you know, think about it. I was also reading this substitute teacher. I think it was in Louisiana. 24 years old substitute teacher, PE teacher, was paying students $5 to bully this other student because she felt like the student told on her because she left early. What type of goofy mess is that? Because to me, because I think this is like a elementary, middle school, which I kind of think I know the type of school it is. So these had to have been like kids, maybe it could have been, and I don't know what age they was. I don't think it was disclosed, but the point is this, right? So this teacher who was 24, mind you, I didn't had sub teachers. I was in high school, and I had a teacher that was like 24, 20, maybe 22 or something. So like I said, they'll be for like they still kind of young out of school, but it's a substitute teacher, and this girl, sent the girl lady's mugshot. So she could pass to be a high schooler, but the whole point is like you're a substitute. I'm not exactly sure how substitutes how they get severance, like if they get like any severance pay, but you're a substitute teacher, so you might not even be like a permanent teacher at the school. So you might just been there just filling in. You might probably be in temp. You leave early, and the kid probably like told the principal, so she probably might have got some disciplinary action to her. So because the kid was being a kid and told you want to be you want to sit here and encourage another kid to beat up this kid. And I think from my understanding, it was like five kids, three of them was able to get the kid. I'm not sure if they got their money, but you're a kid, $5, that's good. You can get a lot with $5 as a kid. That's mad candy all day. You can even she might even be able to get the 4 for Wendy's with that. Shoot. I remember back in the day, I used to get allowance. My allowance used to be $5. So I think, but the thing is like that's the type of behavior that we don't need in school. But the thing about it is that's been going on. Like I've been reading, and stuff like this goes on all over the place. There was another thing in Utah, like a teacher, you know, they wanted to get the teacher out for defending pedophilia, and rightfully so. So you gotta think like going back again, hurt people, but it's like sometimes people aren't. People probably might need to be vetted a little more. I think there should be some type of a better evaluation. Certain better evaluations need to be done because it's like I think even as a substitute teacher, you do gotta have some type of degree. But I think when you're dealing with children, just like when I used to work at a behavioral health center, dealing with children who had behavioral issues. Um, and of course, I had to take the training class for it. Now we didn't get like brain scan, but we had to take training. We had to be able to know how to react, know things to do, because at the end of the day, it's not always about how you feel. When you're working with children, or when you're working in any type of service, um, um, medical, dealing with like other people, you got to forget about what you think is the right decision. You got to use your discretion, yes, but there is certain protocol that you have to follow. So again, accountability. Like, if apparently if you felt the need to do that to a child, there was something you probably wasn't supposed to do. Leaving work early, so you just left these children by themselves. I mean, you should. That's already like a insubordinate right there. And I know it can be hard. I mean, we all got stuff going on, but that's the thing. Like, we all need to take a mental health day, a mental health week sometimes, especially if it's something that you're just kind of just trying to do. And I think that goes with anybody else, even with these people out here killing and robbing folks. Something wrong with the brain, and like, I don't have it in me. So I'm a father, I'm a manager. There's certain things that I don't want to do. There's some hard decisions that it's hard for me to do, even as that, but that's part of life. If you feel like, if you feel like your life is more valuable than somebody else's life, without really considering that every life has value, then there's an issue. They're mental. And maybe, like, again, maybe it's just different from me. Maybe because I was raised right, because I was around the right people. But it's even hard for me to even, you know, joke sometimes, even if it's playing. Like, sometimes I like me hurting somebody's feelings. Like, I can't even do that good. But, at the same time, there's certain things that we have to do as adults, as responsible people. I'm just so angry and upset, disappointed, sad that this goes on in the world and our community. But, I just stay to myself, pray, spend time with my son, appreciate those who appreciate me. Um, But yeah, I'm just like y'all like you gotta do better, black folks. And I'm saying black folks because like again, this does happen, in our communities. And sad to say I don't see it changing. I don't see it stopping. As much as I want to, I don't I don't see it getting any better. I have completely lost hope for people, and I'll just mind business that pays me. Try my best to focus on the things that are positive, the things that are uplifting, encouraging, while still being aware that these other stupid shits goes on. But on that note, everybody stay safe, stay positive, productive, and positive. This is Blair, and I'm out.